I have no idea if this is going to work. If anybody is there, please tell us. I'm just going to like assume that people are there just because, you know.
Okay, I gotta go over to comments. Yeah,
Try not.
usually we'd have Rick saying boom, but
I know. He's
he's
visiting somebody.
visiting. Yeah, he's in Virginia Beach. So I asked Benji. I was like, Benji, this is your stomping grounds. What's the good breweries and stuff? And he gave me a list of like three or four. He's like, depending on your tastes in the area you want to be in, and the style. And I was like, just tell me where the beer is,
Yeah.
okay? He
Where's
just
the
wants to
good
know where
beer?
the. He'll look it up after. Be like, this one's a little bit on the sketchy side, but it has really good fruit beers. And this,
He's very particular and he knows
yeah,
exactly how much it costs down to the cent.
yeah, yes. If Benji was watching, which he's not, he'd probably get a chuckle out of this. But
I can't
what?
imagine Benji ever watching this. So it says 0, but I find it really hard to believe. Hold on. Let's see.
Can we just go to like the YouTube page and see?
Yeah, yeah, that's a very, very good idea.
All right.
I didn't put it on Facebook because I figured that it would make people go to YouTube. That might have been a mistake.
Yeah, it's showing live on.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, so we
Okay.
are live.
Well, you know what? That's okay because people will watch the rerun.
Yeah. Well, whatever. Less stress. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
Yeah.
care.
Okay.
Okay, so
So
hi everybody. It's been a while since Mark and I hung out, so we're just as excited as you are. I can see you're all really excited to be here. Um, so welcome to Happy Hour with Bougie Miles and Mark. I'm Bethany.
and I'm Mark.
And yeah, if you have any questions, post it in the chat. I have no idea if we'll see it, but I'll certainly answer them if I do.
It's been like, how long's it been? Like 4 months. We forgot how to do everything in 4 months or whatever it's been.
Completely. The fact that I found the microphone was amazing. So
What is that? Is that like a champagne glass inside a tumbler glass or what?
yeah, from
Or
Blade.
huh? Never seen that before.
Yeah,
So
so it's like
it's
a little.
easier to hold, but it still gives the whatever champagne flutes are supposed to do. It does.
Yes, except if I'm being honest, it's really just because my dog has been jumping up on the counter and he broke all the wine glasses. Like I can't. All of a sudden, I'm upstairs working, and
Which
I
one is
hear
this,
like
Spencer or which one?
Lucky. Spencer is bad because he can't help himself. Lucky is bad because he knows that he can be.
You
So
know, everybody watching this thinks you name your dogs after bloggers now.
I know. Is there a Josie blogger? Because Josie's the
I'm
cat.
sure there is.
I
Josie
feel it too.
Josie Bling or something. I don't know.
What should I name the next one? Oh my God, just for fun. You don't have to mute yourself. This is not
Oh,
the
yeah, that's true.
podcast. We're not
This
worried
is true.
about that.
Yeah, we don't care about background
Yeah.
sounds.
Let's think about like a
I don't
blogger
have Joe to yell at me.
like pets. What?
I don't have Joe to yell at me. Okay, best blogger name for a dog.
Oh,
Hmm. Who's got like a nickname?
that's a good Ziggy, but I don't really know who that is. So
Yeah, there is a Ziggy. I think he has a boarding area blog, but I've never
yeah.
met him. So
I'm
that
trying
would
to
be a
think of
good
somebody
one.
I don't like that doesn't like pets. So it's like a double whammy. It's like it's
Who
like
kicks dogs on their
oh, you know what? I know. I'll tell you guys all what the name of the pet is when I get it, and then you'll know. You can relate back to this conversation. You'll know who I don't like. You already know what its name would be.
Oh, okay.
um, yes. Okay. So, yeah, we haven't done this in a while, but I think we definitely want to talk about our recent travel experiences.
Yep.
I'm now like wondering if it's ever going to happen again. Like if we ever are going to go anywhere else.
Yes. Like
Uh,
we were just talking the other day because the fall trip for Oktoberfest. I'm like, I'm starting to feel less and less like that's a legit thing.
that is 100% going to happen. I read a quote that said something to the effect of like, if you think you can, you're right. If you think you can't, you're right. So I'm going to
Look at
say that
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 power.
applies to
You
this.
guys come here for the inspirational posters on the back of the wall that Bethany just read. See, that's
Yeah.
behind her. That's behind her computer. She said, "I remember a quote." No, it's like there with the cat like the cat hanging there is right next to it, and then she's reading it. You think you can do it.
Oh, what was your high school yearbook quote?
Oh man, I don't know.
Really?
I'll have to look at. I honestly, I could not tell you. I'm sure it was some stupid line from like basketball or something like that. I'll have to check that out next time we do it. I'll have it ready.
I can't believe you don't remember that. I bet you Kirsten would know.
Yeah, no, she probably wouldn't. I don't
No.
know. It was a long time ago, man. We're talking 2001.
Well, that was a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah, we should be doing our 20
Mine wasn't
year
that long ago.
reunion,
Oh,
20-year reunion this year, but that's not probably not going to happen. So
oh, I would shoot myself if I couldn't go to reunions. That's like the best part of my life. I'm like, hi, it's me. I look exactly the same.
see,
Maybe
I feel like Facebook has and all that has kind of ruined reunions. Like before, you'd show up at 10 years and you'd be like, "What do you think everybody's gonna look like?" But now you already know. You're like, "Oh, that person didn't age so well. That person, whoa, what happened? They look way better." Like that's already happened. So
okay,
you're
so I
just
don't assume like when people look good in a picture, I don't assume that's what they actually look like.
as true filters and angles and all that stuff.
Hmm. Yeah, there's this makeup blogger who I like. Well, I don't really like her, but her pictures, like she looks so young and beautiful. And then you put like the video on, she's in the picture, she looks to be like 30 and like gorgeous. I think she's at least 55. And like she must have been using like tape to like hold everything back. And I'm just like, I mean, the minute somebody clicks on it, they know what you look like. So what's the point of this?
I remember reading like a post or something about when I was trying to figure out video for YouTube and stuff, and there was this post where they take a picture, like somebody would take a picture and show what it looks like on Instagram, and then what it really looks like. It like blows your mind. You're like, wow, that is totally not what they're putting off there. And
Yep.
then they like zoom out to show like where they really are sitting, even though it looks like they're in this like paradise, and they zoom back and there's trash everywhere.
Hmm. It's like that spot. Wait, it was Ryan there in that Instagram spot that's like now like overrun by
I'm
people
sure he's
just
been
wanting
there.
to
I'm
look
sure
like.
he's been there before.
Well, wait, wasn't it was like yesterday? He posted a picture of somewhere that he was. Um,
I don't know.
and he was like, the line to get there is outrageous.
Oh, well, I posted some pictures, and I think he just commented that
Oh,
the
okay.
line it for the guy because I think it's Gates of Heaven. So it's these cool like pillars that basically shoot off into the sky. Like you look like if you walk off it, you fall off a cliff. It like you're in heaven, and you're just gonna drop to the world. There's like a mountain in the background. So it's a cool picture, regardless. Like awesome. If you time it, the sun comes up right in between the two pillars and stuff during sunset, and it looks awesome. But this one guy takes a picture and makes it look like you're standing in front of the most pristine lake, and then there's these gates to heaven. And what he does is he sits there and uses your phone with a mirror and holds the mirror up under the phone so it makes it look like a placid glass lake. And people wait in line to give him like $2 to take this picture.
Oh
And
my
they'll
God.
wait hours just to add that into it. It's crazy. And
I
that's
can't
because
imagine
of Instagram.
anything that bad. Like I don't understand. I just don't understand it. So
Yeah, because they're putting out this. A couple people were like, I saw this on Instagram, so I went there. And I'm like, what is this? This is crap. A
good
completely
God.
beautiful place. You have expectations that are unrealistic, and then you get there and it's ruined because you expect it to be this majestic place, and it still would be, except for really it's just a dirt with a little puddle in front of the.
Yeah, now
And then
you're
one guy took a picture. He's like,
ruined.
"Here's the water," and it's like this little mud puddle that's right in front of where you stand to take the picture.
Wow. It's like really amazing.
It's crazy.
Uh, all right, so tell us about Florida. So, for everybody who doesn't
Florida.
know, Mark just went to Florida and I went to Mexico and we had some interesting experiences.
Yeah, yours was a little more interesting, but yeah, Florida. My dad turned 60, so they just moved from. We were gonna go to Fort Lauderdale and stay at the Conrad, and I was all excited about that because everything I've read and heard is that place is amazing. So we're gonna do that because they're up in Jacksonville area. They're gonna drive down and meet me there, and then like 2 weeks before, typically my typical parents 2 weeks before I'm supposed to go, they're like, "Hey, by the way, I took a job and we're moving." Oh, okay. Yeah, he took a transfer. So he's like, "Yeah, I'm moving in like 6 days. I got to move to Sarasota." I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "Does that is that okay?" I'm like, "I mean, Florida's Florida, man. Like, I still got to
Right.
fly to see you. So what does it? I don't care where you are. If you moved further north, I'd be excited. But staying south, it is what it is." So I'm like, "Do you want me to move the flight there? You know, I can switch everything up. It's free, whatever." They're like, "Yeah, that'd be nice because then we don't have to drive across the state or whatever." So I do all that. And we go there, and I was expecting it to be different because they've been open for a while, and it was like a whole nother world, as in 2019 world. It's great because here on the radio, they're like, sounds from the old days. I don't know if they do this like commercial, and it's like, excuse me, as he's like walking down to get to his seat at the game. You hear like a game in the background. It's like, oh, pardon me, I gotta go to the bathroom. Pardon me, excuse me, and they're like, that was sounds of the old like that, and you're
Uh-huh.
like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Bumping into people. So it's just a unique experience. Like all the restaurants are open inside, outside, everything. People are pretty lax with the mask depending on where you are. Like if you go into the grocery stores and stuff, it's full on. At the restaurants, a lot of people walk into the beach bars and stuff with nothing. Some places would say you have to wear a mask when you go up to the bar to order a drink, and then another one we went to, we're standing up at the bar and people were like reaching over us without a mask to give $10 to get a beer, and lining up all around, like 30 people packed into a small space, which was strange. So, yeah, Florida does Florida.
Yeah. Well, Florida, as some people say. Yeah, it's weird, because like even now, I feel like if I get too close to somebody, even if I am wearing a mask and they are, it still feels like it's like a weird sensation. Like,
Yeah, I wonder like are my kids scarred for life because of this?
oh,
Because
100%.
I watch movies. I find myself mentally watching movies, and people will be like close talking to each other, and I'm like, whoa, that totally is not right. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is not this is not real life. Like they're gonna get sick. Like they messed up our minds. I swear. But it's
Interesting. I never actually thought about that because I hate people who get up in my face.
yeah,
Like, like I don't mind if you like are close as long as you don't smell. But like anything closer than like 14 inches is too close.
we had we're sitting out at the cottage, and we had a neighbor come over. We were just like sitting by the bonfire, and it was colder, so he's just like, hey, how's it going, whatever. I live one street over. Produces themselves up there. That was cool. He ended up staying for like 30 minutes, and he was telling us the
Oh
story that
no.
nobody wanted to hear. And he would walk around the fire to be like, yeah, I was like, and like spit is flying out, and I'm like, dude.
It sounds like the worst person
even
ever.
even in the normal times, I'd be like, come on, like move on and don't spit on me. But now, I don't know. It was crazy.
Oh no.
Kirsten's like, oh, I gotta go get a refill, and she just never came back.
Of course, well, that's what I
And
would have
she left me out there, and I was
done.
like, oh, okay, cool.
Oh my gosh, she really threw you to the wolves there.
Yes, yep. So it's like, oh, I better go check on them and see how's it going,
Well, yeah, I
whatever.
mean, you have
But
kids inside, so you're
yeah, well, they were running outside for a little bit, but yeah. So, you with Mexico, what did you think of like the way it was set up, the airport and everything? Was it pretty what you expected, or you know?
Yeah. So I would say that it was at least the airport and the flight were as expected. Like I was actually shocked at how strict they were being on the flight. Like, how the flight attendants sometimes have to come on and say, like, hey, we're here for your safety for the most part, but should you need something, let us know when we come by, kind of thing. And you're always
Yeah,
like, oh, like she has like a complex, right? Um, so this time, if I had to tell you how many times they had to like come over the loudspeaker and tell people that if they were not wearing their masks, they would be banned from American Airlines. So,
it's funny because the one of the flight attendants on our flight, the flight down was like half empty. So I picked like seats where there was like 4 rows on each side of me empty, and I was like, this is awesome. This was like I could do whatever I wanted. And the flight attendant, she was standing behind us. There was only like one other guy in the back half of the plane with me. And we were talking to her, and she's like, I promised myself I wouldn't take any more Florida flights. I did. I said I'm not going to do any more Florida flights or LA flights. That's where all the problems are.
That's
They
surprising.
they don't want to wear a mask, or somebody's dinging the button to say he's not wearing a mask. He's not
That
wearing a mask.
sounds like LA.
So she's like, those two, I said I wouldn't do. I'm like, well, at least this one's half empty, so you should be okay. But it was kind of funny.
Wait, so
Yes.
are they doing the same thing on yours, or did they not?
Yeah. They said all the speeches and stuff,
Mhm.
and even the captain like mentioned it, and but there was no issues. Nobody, I don't think anybody really did anything or got yelled at or anything. So
So my phone was charging, and my AirPods, what are they called? They were like dying, so I was like charging those too. So I was listening to the in-flight entertainment, um, which is terrible right now, by the way.
yeah,
Like
there was nothing on Deltas. It
it was
was,
weird. Like
but
every I
I'm like,
found
bring Netflix on here. Can we just get Netflix and then life would be better?
yeah. I found Taylor Swift and it was like an interview. I was like, who's coming? Like, and not even music, no music, just an interview with Taylor Swift. I'm
And you
like,
watched the whole thing, didn't you?
I watched a little of it. Yeah. I love her. But still, I would have preferred the music.
Yeah.
So they kept having to come on. I mean, I want to say at least 6 times on a 3-hour flight. Like at one point, the woman goes, listen, even if you're sleeping, if you're not wearing your mask, I'm going to wake you up. I was like, wow.
I mean, sometimes you roll over, maybe it just falls off or something. I don't know.
Well, I'm assuming, like, sometimes like you pretend to be sleeping so that people don't bother you. I do that
Yeah.
all the time, right? Not like
Oh, they're coming. They're coming.
when I used to take the bus to Atlantic City, I used to, this is so crazy.
That had to be the most interesting bus ever.
It was exactly as you would imagine. Also, I'm not going to get into it, but it was exactly as you picture, but worse. So what I would
But
do on the way home
dirtier.
from the casino was I would go and get like a White House sub or something like really like messy and like nasty looking, and I would open it and keep it on my lap for when the people would come on the bus.
It's like that old commercial where the guy was like sneezing all over himself. And then like the pretty lady walks down. He's like, "Oh, Doritos. Ah, here."
Never mind. Yeah. No, I kept it out the whole time, hoping that nobody would sit next to me. And it
Oh.
worked like often actually. And then,
Yeah,
it's
because I hate when you get on the plane and then somebody in front of you opens up like the stinkiest food and you're like, no, I have to smell
Yep.
this
Oh,
for
yeah.
like the next 2 hours.
Yep. I went with like extra mayo, lettuce. I would like, make it look extra messy.
It's like going to Subway and being like, what do you want to add on it? Yes, all of it, all of it,
Everything that
all
looks
of it. Give me a side salad. Can you put all the toppings in a little bowl so I have a free side salad? I've seen people do it like, yeah, put everything. Like, really? You can't fit that in your mouth.
Ew, that's
Oh.
gross. Wait, like the Subway toppings as a side salad? I haven't been to Subway in 20 years.
Oh, yes. Subway. Still popular.
It's gross. Once Quiznos became a thing, I never went back to Subway.
I was shocked that there still are Quiznos. I thought they had all the ones around here had closed, but there's still a few kicking around.
It's because it was too good. So
remember those weird Quiznos commercials with the little like sock puppet looking things that were like weird hamsters? They're like, I love these subs.
I don't remember.
I'm gonna send you that because they're on YouTube and stuff. I'll send you it in Slack.
So speaking of, well, I know I'm getting off topic, which is what I always do, but speaking of commercials, the progressive commercials with the guy teaching people not to turn into their parents.
Yes.
It's
they're so good.
Comedic gold. Like, it doesn't matter how many times I've seen it. Every time he says, we all see it. I lose it. I love it. And
I
then
forget that there's another part that he says something like, "No, it's not called this. It's called this," and I laugh every time that I forget what it was, but it was like some term that you're like, "Yes, old people would call it that."
Or what about the submarines? He says, who else reads books about submarines? Because I feel like every dad does weird shit like that, weird stuff like that. I
Oh,
knew
you
that I
just
should have
got
said it to not 18. I knew there was no way I was going to be able to not curse this whole time.
you just got dinged.
Oops. Sorry, FTC. Um, yes. So anyway, so then we get to Mexico and we get to the hotel and same story, like as if there is no such thing as a pandemic, like, what you would have imagined like in 2019.
Yeah.
And, for me, I was kind of happy because like we're outside most of the
Yeah.
time and like I don't have to worry about it outside, but even inside there was no like every single employee was wearing a mask.
Mm-hmm.
They must have told them like you're going to be fired if you don't wear one because
Yeah.
I never even saw them like lift for like breath,
Yeah.
nothing. But I would say they were doing a show at one point. There was like hundreds of people in this little tiny like area, just all
Mm-hmm.
sitting next to each other. I don't even think they had like masks like on them. And I thought that was really interesting. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
no,
some people are like, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Like, if you want to go to Florida and do that, and there's still places there that will follow guidelines and
yeah.
whatever. Just look at what place, but whatever you want to get into, you can, which is appealing. That's why I think a lot of people have moved from like New York area and stuff
Mhm.
and bought houses in Florida because they're like, I'm tired of being stuck inside this apartment
Yeah.
in Manhattan. I can't do anything.
Yep.
So it's just, but it's weird because I'm coming from a place that's one of the more strict states. I mean, our restaurants haven't been open indoors for a while. And then you go there and you're like, wow, this is,
Yeah, it's like you feel like a normal
it's like
person.
another world.
You're like,
Yeah,
oh,
it does. It does. It's like normal things.
good or
And
not, right?
that's the nice thing about being in a warm place where you're eating, drinking, all that stuff's outside, out by the pool. Like
Yep.
it's different than being stuck inside, type of thing. So it was nice to
Although,
get away, but
yeah, like it was fine, right? But my trip was diminished. So am I like dying to go on my next trip? No, actually.
yeah,
Like I don't know. When you have to like
leaves a
eat,
bad taste.
yeah, that and like having to like wear a mask, like I won't eat like onions. 'Cause, like I don't want to that's disgusting.
I never really thought about that. Like, because you
Oh,
are smelling.
I can't eat anything and then put a mask on. I don't no. It's just so disgusting to me. And then as soon as I get home,
Get some breath strips and then just
the smell of like onions or like whatever, that never goes away.
I
It's
wonder if they make like because essential oils are such a big thing. I wonder if they make a mask with like a little diffuser dropper thing that you
that is an excellent idea.
so you just sniff it direct.
Tell
But I don't
Kirsten
know.
to invent it.
Can you sew me a pouch on my mask so I can put a little oil thing in there?
I guess you could just put them on the inside. You would smell it all day, like mid
Yeah.
thing.
So do you have anything? Do you have anything planned over the next few months, or nothing until like summer, fall, or?
Yeah, I mean, I have like 30 trips like booked.
I mean, how many are legit that you think you'll take?
Yeah.
I think you like to book stuff just to cancel it. Like you're like, I'm gonna book this, but I know I'm gonna cancel it, but I'm still just gonna book. You never know. You never know.
Well, I mean, you never know. So I have Bora Bora in April. Um, that is like the big one.
Yeah.
But again, that one's been rescheduled now like 4 times. So, we'll see about that. And then for sure, 100%, if they happen, I will be at all of the concerts that I have tickets for.
Yeah.
I have like, I'm going to meet the Bare Naked Ladies 4 times. I'm going to use
They're gonna be
my
like, "What's with this crazy chick?"
what's funny is that
Remember me? I met you in London. Remember me? I was in Toronto.
so they know like all of their big fans because they've always done meet and greets.
Yeah.
So like, halfway through the concert, they'll be like, "Oh, hey, Leslie." That's actually definitely one of their biggest fans is a woman named Leslie because they call
And
her
you're
out
like,
every concert.
"Oh, I wish I was Leslie."
No, I never really like cared about that. It was really
Yeah.
weird. I love their music so much. I was never really interested in them as people.
Yeah.
And then a couple of shows ago in Chicago, I was like standing in the front and their photographer came over to me. He's like, can I take a few pictures of you? I was like, sure. Yeah. Um, and
Did you know? Did you know security guards in Cancun stare at me as I?
oh, we have to talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, he was like, they would like love to meet you. And I was like, I'm picking down what you're picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah. I'm picking up what you're laying down.
I was like, I got it. So now I'm like, now I really want to meet them because Ed is my hall pass. So
What does Ed look like? Does he look?
um
Does he look like a middle-aged dad?
uh-huh. With like a big belly. Yeah. Uh-huh. I hope he
Oh, right after the concert, all sweaty. Yes, this is exactly what I envision.
Perfect. So I just need you to sing like one note. We are good.
Do you have any other hall passes, or is that your? Is it just one, or?
Yeah, I have like I have like at least 5. Uh,
Oh, that's great.
Eddie Cibrian's on there. I mean, there's a lot of like good-looking guys on there, but then like I think who used to be on my Matt Lauer
Oh,
before he got canceled.
even still, I feel like you just pass out and fall asleep.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I think you're supposed to pick people who you have a chance at like what's the point of having one if you can't ever use it, Like if I said Justin Bieber, not that I think he's attractive, but like if I said Justin Bieber, like I know that's not going to happen because I could be his mother, right? And even if we did meet, he wouldn't be like, "Oh, you're so beautiful," So like he would never be on my list because it doesn't make sense. I mean, so everybody who's doing it the other way it's wrong.
That means like I'm really gonna check these 5 off. That's my goal. It's
Well, at least the one. I mean, I have 4 meet and greets. Come on. So.
Oh, that'll be an interesting happy hour when we discuss that.
Right? I mean, I can keep a secret, but I probably wouldn't.
Oh,
okay, so let's get back to that the Cancun thing. So I did it wasn't a review. I did a review of the customer service basically of the hotel. And I complained, I think rightfully so. But the second headline of the article was like, "Is Hyatt Ziva safe?" And for some reason, everybody read it as the title.
Yeah.
Right? Which it was not. Like, it didn't even say it in the title. There was no. Right?
No, like nobody clicked on it because it said, "Is Hyatt Ziva safe?"
Right.
No,
So
nobody clicked through expecting that.
It doesn't even fit the categorization of clickbait because nobody clicked on that because it didn't say it on the outside. Like it was wrapped in exactly what it was,
Yeah.
But the situation that I had it was like a security issue and there was a whole lot of confusion and some like really
Thanks for that bra snap.
I'm sorry. I just realized that my shirt is
it was like right into the microphone too.
There you go. That's what I thought of those security guards. So
you get thinking of Ed from Bare Naked Ladies and you just gotta pop the bra.
But I was trying to be more appropriate,
Okay, so moving on.
Yes. So they were just not nice to me. And I wrote a review of that. And my sort of thinking was, if they're spending so much time on a guest who is not doing anything wrong, they're
that paid an obscene amount of money. Yeah,
$440 for 2 people. One was a pregnant person, and the other was just a friend who was coming to hang out for the day. Yeah. But anyway, that's in addition to the $700 I paid for the night. It was like $695 was like the rate.
Yeah.
And after doing like the numbers and everything, I realized like we paid cash for 2 nights and then did points the others. But anyway, So my thinking was like, if the security guards are so focused on this, they're really not probably focusing on what they should be.
Yeah.
So I said, like, that was the worst mistake I ever made, was asking if a Hyatt Ziva Cancun was safe. Because
I do for from some random reason. If that wouldn't have been there, I think it wouldn't have gotten so visceral from people. But
mhm, oh
it
my
was weird because it's not like that was the headline to draw them in. Like so,
that part was weird to me though, right? Like
yeah,
people are like, I clicked on this because I'm going there and I want to see if it's safe. And I'm like, but you didn't even know it said that when you clicked on it. That doesn't make any
yeah.
sense. And so yeah,
I
so
don't know.
people called me Karen for like a solid what, like 3 days. It was like I got to a point where I had to stop auto approving posts because people were like fighting with each other and like slinging like slurs at each other. And I was like, this is probably great for my SEO, but it's terrible for my sleep, you know?
Yeah. No, it's just yeah. I don't know. It's weird.
It was, uh-oh, we have a comment, huh? So what was the safety issue again? I don't get it. Okay. So you should read the post. But it was basically just that I added a guest and they didn't realize that I added the guest and it was an all inclusive. So the security guards kept bothering us, asking if they basically said that my friend wasn't supposed to be there. But
Yeah, and then I mean, I felt like more of the safety issue was when the head security guard tried to intimidate you and pulled you aside when you were by yourself and stuff,
yeah,
and that wouldn't make me feel
yeah.
welcomed or safe. You know, like they have my back if they're trying to like take advantage of me or you know just treating you that like you did something wrong when you had already paid for everything.
Mhm.
Everything was paid for, and they treated you like you were trying to sneak somebody in and
Wasn't
steal
just
from them.
paid for, it was like overpaid for.
Yeah,
Let's be clear here. They have not gotten $1,000 for one like crappy room and all that crappy food for like one night, probably ever. That's what I paid. So yeah, and you know, they tried to intimidate me, and if it were my player two, who's like 6'2" and like a big dude, nobody would have acted like that. And that was
yeah.
sort of the thing. But it was that was a fun post. And then your post was classic. The one like, hey guys, if you want us to do reviews.
Well, it's just weird because I mean, it all and you know, I let my emotions bubble out in it. It was like over a period of a week, 4 or 5 different reviews got comments like getting upset about.
Ryan gets the best comment.
Ryan gets a lot like people
He's
just go
he's
off on him.
vegan. People hate vegans.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but there's a lot of stuff we can't even approve.
I believe
Um, oh wow, there goes my theory of keeping their wristbands and reuse them in the future.
Oh, hold
They
on.
probably would let that go through, even though
Wait,
it's not
no.
paid.
Here's what we found out at the end. Well,
Huh.
actually, we found out two things. Do you remember in the Facebook group that another blogger who was
Oh,
there the week
snuck somebody
before
in. Yeah,
that they snuck in two people?
yeah.
And yeah, and so then the other thing was I found out later that from our waiter, who was really nice, that they recognized his wristband wasn't from the hotel. But that was like the fourth time. But anyway, yeah, so don't do that.
Why wouldn't they see? That's what I don't understand. When once you paid and stuff, why wouldn't they give them a wristband?
There are no wristbands.
Oh, he was wearing a wristband from his hotel or
Yes.
whatever.
And then, yeah, and then the manager came over and said, we ran out of wristbands. But every mommy blogger on planet Earth said that they've never had wristbands at this property. So
Oh,
I don't know why I was lying, but you know, whatever. So as you
yeah, yeah. So that post was just you know everybody's experience is different, and I do think people you know a lot of people love the Ziva property, so I think they took it as like an assault on their feelings or their you know their tastes because you didn't have a good experience, but a review is just a snapshot in time of that one person's experience. Like Ryan went to the Park Hyatt in Zanzibar, and he had a terrible experience. But you could tell, and he even said this: they tried really hard to make everything right, but they just didn't have the tools or the ability or whatever to make it right. So it was just comedic error after comedic error, power not working, you know, getting accused of not paying for lunch when it was supposed to be free in front of everybody in the hotel. like all this stuff, and it just built up. Each one individually isn't like a huge thing, but it just builds up to a point that it ruins your trip.
Yeah.
And I think it still adds value because you could see how hard they work to try to make it good. So if it's a normal experience, I think you'd have a great time there, and I think you could figure that out from the review. As well as if you do have something minor come up, they're going to be on top of it and try their best to fix it. So I think that's something you learn from it. I've been to places that I'm like, oh, I love that place. Actually, I was at the Hyatt Regency in Sarasota, and I'm like, everybody here's been fantastic. The food's been good out by the pool. The drinks are good. All the employees are great. The room's spacious. It's clean. I mean, it was a little dated, and somebody commented under it that, oh, I can't stand it. This place is. She was there at the same time. It's terrible. There's stains in here and that and stuff.
Oh.
So,
Watch
like,
out,
two
Karen.
people. No, yeah, nobody attacked her, luckily. But like I said, everybody has a different experience depending on what room they get. One room could be perfect, it could be remodeled, and another room could be junk. So I'm like, this is somebody sharing what they thought. So I don't
Mhm.
know why you would attack them over that. It's not like they're fictitiously making up stuff.
Yep.
So that's just the thing I didn't get. And reviews are a pain to write. So I just said, we do that as a reason for, or as something
Yep.
to help you guys out. Like, it doesn't drive clicks.
It
It's
doesn't
not a,
it does not make us any money.
no.
It's by far the most complicated thing that we do because one, we already know that we're going to get so much crap for it. So like you try so hard to be diplomatic, but
Yeah.
still get your point across. Like I'm always trying to be honest,
Mm-hmm.
but I definitely don't say certain things. Like I definitely did not complain about the dolphins.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I have to pick.
Yeah.
I have to pick like what to complain about.
Yeah.
So that and the pictures are a nightmare. A
Yeah.
complete nightmare. So,
Editing and sizing and
yeah.
picking them out. And, I'm walking around Sarasota and we're with a group of, family and stuff. And somebody's like, why is he taking pictures of everything? I'm like, I have to. Like, I have to take
It's
pictures of
like my
everything.
life. Yeah.
Because we have to put it in there because we want a full picture of
Yep.
what's going on. Like, I'm taking a picture of the elevator just because people want to know what the inside of the
Yep.
elevator looks like. Like,
Isn't that funny? I know.
and it does, and people give you weird looks, but I don't know. I just thought it was weird. I don't know how you judge or condemn somebody for sharing what they felt in that moment. Like, that's
Right.
their experience. It's not
Yeah.
saying that's what your experience could be. I mean, you go to TripAdvisor, you read this place was great, and then next review is this place is the worst place I've ever been. That's
Yep.
just the way it is. So,
Although, do you ever read? So we live in an age where like people won't even order dinner without like Yelp, right?
yeah, yeah.
So it's amazing to me that people are so finicky about reviews, but that's besides the point. So yeah. So do you ever go somewhere and then go back and look at TripAdvisor and think, how do they have this many great reviews?
Sometimes, not a ton, but it has happened sometimes. More so like Yelp with food and stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
But that's something that can, be different
yeah,
depending on
Yelp. I mean, a restaurant could completely depend who's working the kitchen that night.
yeah,
So
who's your waiter? Like, did you have terrible service or great service? Because those two things are a huge difference. Were
yeah,
you drinking or are you sober? Like, if I'm drinking, I probably don't notice that the guacamole is oversalted.
yeah.
But if I'm not, I'm very clear on everything. So yeah,
Salt just adds to the cerveza. There we go.
sure, usually. I mean, but you never know.
Yeah.
So that's always an interesting thing.
Did you
Uh,
want to move on to credit cards?
yes.
Let's get
Uh,
into some juicy stuff.
oh yeah, should we go for like 10 more minutes?
Yeah. Can
Okay.
you extend it?
Oh yeah, I didn't set it.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
Um, okay, so credit cards. So I thought this one was funny because you thought it was an amazing offer, and
Well,
from the look
the
of
thing
it,
is,
it was.
well, the problem, like, I saw the 60,000 points and got excited and
Right.
didn't really dive into the details, and I'm like, hey, 60,000 points, assuming it's probably going to be similar to no.
We're talking about the Chase Hyatt Visa, by the way.
Yes, yeah. So the new offer that just launched today. So it's they sent out the email saying 60,000 points, but it's you get 30,000 points after $3,000 in spend, and you have to spend $15,000 to get the other 30,000 points, but it's only really an extra point per dollar on that $15,000 in spend, and it has to be non-bonus spend. It can't be like restaurants. Like restaurants, you'll only get the 2 times what you normally would instead of an extra point to get 3 times. So it has to be something that only normally would earn 1 point, and then you're going to earn 2 points.
Mm-hmm.
Which I was still like, okay, after 15,000 spend, you'll get the free night. That still sounds better. Like 60K plus the free night's better than 50K. But then you start to think, okay, but you'd earn points on that 15,000. So it ends up being the old 50K after $6,000 in spend. If you spent all the way up to the full 15,000, you would end up with 65,000 points
Okay,
versus
so it's very
versus 60. Yeah. It's like, but I think this is the way offers have been kind of going. You see more tiered offers versus the straight 50,000 points after 3,000 spend. Even
well,
the old
but
Hyatt offer.
tiered is different than saying, hey, you'll get
Yeah.
these points on non-bonus that doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense. Nobody's trying to incentivize anybody to spend in non-bonus categories. Also, Hyatt is one of the weird ones that has like totally random
Yeah, like
categories.
gym memberships.
Yeah, public transportation, it's weird.
Yeah. It's very specific. Like somebody
Right.
told them that this is an area that's not well served, so you should
Yeah.
get into it, I
And
guess. I
like
don't
the
know.
18 people who take the subway were like, oh yes, I'm gonna get an extra.
But I felt bad because there was people that were like waiting. They're like, "Oh, I'm waiting for this to go to 60K." I'm like, "It's never gonna go to 60K." And then it goes to 60K, and I'm like, "Hey, guess what? It went to 60K." And then I'm like, "Oh crap! It really isn't 60K. It's really 45K." So the trick is, if you are interested in the world of Hyatt, or you're for your player one or player two or whatever, or for yourself, the referral offers are still showing for the 50K sign up. Plus, you'd get like a 5,000 bonus if you refer the other person. So you're actually coming out 10,000 points ahead.
Mhm.
So I would send that to the player two now, even if they're not gonna sign up for a while, because a lot of times those are good. They'll be like good for
Yeah.
30 days or whatever. And that referral offer might change to the worst 60K offer. So just lock it in so you have that option.
Yeah.
Would be my guess. It might never change. It might change. Sometimes the referral offers are completely different than public offers. So
And then the other thing that I always do with hotel websites is like I go to book something and then I look to see what the offer is at the bottom. And
yeah,
often it's like,
they'll
oh,
give you like 50 bucks or something. Yeah,
yeah. Like I think the Hyatt one is a free category 1 to 7 night plus $200 credit.
yeah,
And like for a lot of people, that's a great deal, especially like for somebody like me who's like probably only staying at like a category 7, right?
yeah.
Maybe a 6, maybe, And then I'll take the $200 credit all day because like, why not? I'm going to spend it anyway. But that's a terrible offer for somebody who is like a budget traveler who's
Yeah.
doing like all of their points, at category ones.
Yeah,
So
you remember the old like 2 free nights you used to get at any category, and everybody was like, "This is great."
that
And
was
that's
my first ever real like true miles and points like win.
sign up. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So that, I mean, when you think about it, I actually like the points offer way, but when they switched it, I think
Mhm.
that's better. Even though it's 50,000 points where you could get 60,000 from the two certs, and a lot of people were mad that it went away.
Mhm.
But I stay at a category two, category three, category one, so I can get a lot of nights out of it. Where if you're staying at a category seven or category six,
Yeah.
you're gonna do the same or better with the 2 nights. Which I find it weird. I feel like the card should just give multiple style offers. Like, why not have the 2 free nights
I just
or
pay. Yeah.
points? Yeah, depending on what you want. But
Actually, that's a really good idea. So, okay, so you know how the points guy does those posts like what we want to see from whoever in the future.
hmm
And it's funny because I almost feel like it's like messing with the market. Like at this point, the website is so big that I feel like they actually might have some influence, which is kind of like sad to say, but
like somebody from Chase read it and was like, "That is a good idea."
yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I think like it's kind of right on that they're doing it, even though I know people are super annoyed, but I
Yeah.
think it's actually kind of a good idea because they can sort of influence it. And
hmm
there you go. So when Bougie Miles blows up, um, now you know
Right.
what you want.
Right. Give
Girl,
us options. Options.
yeah. Give us an option for luxury travelers. I think there should at least be two. There should be one for luxury and one for budget, right?
Yeah.
Everybody else in between, they get screwed anyway on point redemptions because Seth, what's his name? Seth Miller? Is that his name?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so he did a like research study at some point on redemption values. And it turns out that, as suspected, the highest redemptions and the lowest redemptions
Yeah.
get the most value. And
Mhm.
the middle is where you sort of like skirt the line at like 1.5 cents per point or whatever,
Yeah.
depending on what,
Where it's like almost you're better off cashing out
Yeah.
versus in book paying. Yeah. And it makes sense because that's where the value is at. High end over the top prices or low end where, a Hyatt place is usually going to be $150 a night. You're only spending 5,000 points.
You
That
charge for parking.
only a few do.
I could not. I was like, okay, so I thought the whole thing about like these budget, what do I say? Like Hilton, Garden City, Place, Courtyard,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
I think the whole thing about these places is that like it's for people who are cheap, right? Or like trying to maximize the.
I think it's more like aimed at suburbs is the real thing. I mean, there's a few in
But
big
there's like
cities,
so
but
many in New York.
yeah. But the mass, like the majority of that low budget brand is
Hmm.
for like off the interstate, like this random exit that somebody just pulls off because they're tired of driving.
Yeah.
Like, oh, there's a Holiday Inn Express. Okay, I'll go stay there. So I think that's what they're shooting. So those are normally free parking, but when you get into big cities, even Royal Oak, which isn't a big city but it has a really popular downtown, they'll charge and parking is a premium. They charge like $25 a night to stay at that one.
What? Wait.
Yeah,
Oh
for a
no.
Hyatt place.
No. When she said it's $10 a night in parking.
You're like, no, this is an award stay. It's free.
Well, no, it wasn't. I was paying
Oh,
cash because of the
oh,
Amex offer.
oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
It was like just the principle of the thing that like I walked into this place like that I would never be caught dead in. Okay. And now she's trying to tell
It's
me that
my
I'm
favorite hotel brand, and you're just killing it.
sorry. No, it's not. Shut up.
No, I do for like family travel. It's my
Oh,
favorite brand
sorry.
because did you? Well, you never even been in one of their rooms, have you?
Sorry. Oh, well, so we went up because I was like, maybe I should take a picture. I walked in, I said, nah.
No, I just like it because it's like a sweet setup where you have a living room and a bedroom, not a real bedroom, like
Yeah.
a little divide.
Uh-huh.
But the big key is that the couch is a pull-out, so my son can sleep on that, so he's not kicking me all night.
Yes, that is
Lifesaver,
yeah.
lifesaver.
Well, while you're lucky enough to have children who are young enough to share a room with you, I can see it.
No, when they're 17, they're still sharing a room with me. I'm cheap.
They're all just going to share one big bed. Somebody could sleep in the tub. It'll be like an adventure.
Just throw. We need extra pillows and blankets up here. Just
Yeah.
fill up the tub.
So basically, I told this chick, she was like, so I was like, oh, we don't need parking. She goes, well, where are you going to park? I was like, I'm not
At
staying.
home. At home.
Like, I wouldn't stay in this place if you paid me, lady.
Well, that's the funny part because I went to High Place and I had booked it because I was hoping the pool was supposed to be fixed and open. So it's by the kid's school. So I was going to pick him up from school and check in, let him go swimming for like an hour or so, and then go home. So I'm like, hey, is the pool? She's like, no, it's still, we haven't gotten the part in to fix it. And I was like, okay, well, do you know when it'll be fixed? Because I'll probably do this a couple times. And I just want to use the swimming.
What are you, my
I'm
boss?
not staying. I'm just doing it for status. And she was like, what? I'm like, I just want to know, like, when the pool. She's like, I don't know. And she totally just rolled right over and didn't ask anything. I was like, I'm just trying to get nights.
Hey, that's so weird.
Like, you just spent 10,000 points for nothing? Like, you're not even gonna stay here? No. Like, no, not really. She's like, do you want your free water? I was like, hell yeah, I want my free water.
You get to go.
Give me that one bottle of Dasani. It makes me feel better about this 10,000 points.
Absolutely.
The best part is like when they forget and you're like, I'm supposed to get free water, right? And they're like,
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now I want my $3 back for sure.
Well, I think they're supposed to give you like two, but they always, if you're by yourself, they give you one. So I'll be like, hey, I'll preempt this. I'll be like, instead of 2 free waters, can I just grab a pop, which is soda for you? Can I just grab like a Mountain Dew? And they're like, okay. So
Wait, so you You pick your own water? They don't just like put it in your room?
Usually, like there's a no, yeah. Usually there's like a case right next to check in, and they just like go over and grab a water. So you
Um,
just go and grab one from the
remember that it
case.
looked like a Starbucks, and I thought to myself, like, this is not a terrible place to do work.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
the little lobby area, like they have a little bar always at the Hyatt places that you can sit at, and they usually have like food at night.
Hmm.
And then the breakfast is, I mean, it's powdered eggs, but it's better than most. So
They have breakfast too.
yeah, for everybody, all guests get breakfast.
Ugh, I
I
can't
always
even.
go down and get like a whole plate of bacon.
No. Oh my God. When we were in Mexico, we walked to this like outdoor mall, which is where we found the casino. It's like the only casino in Cancun.
Does it have table games or is it only slots?
Oh my God. Okay. So we'll end on this.
Okay.
So we walk in and it's like, first of all, outside is gorgeous. It's like this brand new building. It's like this beautiful, like, have you ever been to the Galleria in New York? I think it's like on the North Shore of Long Island. It's like all
Mm-mm.
expensive.
Never been to Long Island.
Oh, really? Okay.
No, I don't think
So
so.
lucky you.
Unless I went unless we drove through there when I was younger and when we were living in Jersey, but I don't think so.
It's unlikely. Yeah. So it's like this high-end shopping mall kind of place. And I would not say that the shops at this Cancun place were high end, but they were just like regular mall, whatever.
Yeah.
But first of all, the coolest thing I've ever experienced, like ever, is like it made me really, really, really want to be like super rich. Was only one person is allowed in each store at a time.
Oh wow.
Yes. So I went to because I needed underwear and like something else because of course I didn't pack right. I'm a terrible packer. I needed like underwear and like a throw over, for my
Yeah.
bathing suit. So I walked I'm waiting online and I'm like, okay, there's nobody in there. She's like, oh, it's only one person at a time. And I was like, that's
This is
ridiculous.
amazing.
Yeah. At first I was like, that's ridiculous, right? And then all of a sudden I'm in there and every single person is like tending to my I'm like, do you have anything gray and soft? Do you have any like
It's like all those movies like in the 90s where they're like they put on the music and people walk out and try on dresses. What was it, Mighty Ducks, where they
yes,
sit there drinking their champagne and all the store attendants model clothes for them to buy a dress for their mom, and they're like, how about bathing suits?
that is exactly what it was like. It was incredible. Like I walked out. So even player two wasn't allowed in. It's only like not even same household, like just one person
Oh wow,
in the entire
that's so
store.
crazy.
Oh my God. So then I saw Sephora and I was like, oh my God. And yeah, basically like at the end of that, I told player two, like, we need a lot more money. Like a lot. Because I
So
don't
was
get
there like a time limit, or they just kind of let you do whatever you want for as long?
whatever
So
you want.
you could have four people in front of you and be there for like an hour waiting in line.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's insane.
Yep. I'm a nice person, so I wouldn't do that. Maybe in
But
Sephora.
if you go in there and just buy a throw in underwear, are they like, wow, we wasted this whole 30 minutes on a $12 sale or
No,
whatever?
like the girl was so excited. I was an American Eagle and or air, whatever the like brand is.
Aeropostale or
Yeah, something like that, right? Like Aerie or whatever. I just know they have cotton underwear.
she's like, oh my gosh, a mom's coming in because it's all 17-year-olds that shop there.
100% cotton. Yeah, that's me, right?
Hey, where are the grandma panties here in American Eagle?
Like boycott or whatever, right? But yeah, it's like so they for sure, like but the girl was so excited and she was like, oh, and then I was like, do you have soft pants? She was like, oh, yes. And I was like, oh my God, she's so excited to help me. It was so freaking cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah. So anyway, so the casino is part of that complex. And
Okay.
we went up and it's gorgeous, like so like brand new, so nice. We go through like the metal detector and realize like we are the only people in the casino. And then we go over, but there's tons of table games, dealers, everything. And we asked them like, are the table games open? And he was like, yeah, if you give us like 10 minutes. And
So they were just standing there without the table open, just standing in front of the table.
but if you think about like what Mexico is known for and what it likely was, we kind of
As a front.
yeah. Yeah. You
So
know,
did you guys sit and play? Did you guys sit and play or
so
no?
no, so we ended up going to American Eagle, and then I was like, you know what? We're gonna get shot if we win. So we should probably, because also somebody said that on my Twitter. Somebody was like, it was a person who lives in Mexico. They
Mm-hmm.
wrote it in Spanish, like, oh, they call them casinos here, but we call it organized crime. And I was like, I had my great experience for today. I got my Starbucks. Like, let's go back to work.
I totally would have sat down and been like, taking
I
that
wanted
money.
to, but then I mean, there was no one there. It was like it was very nice, but like
That's just
not even
crazy. Like,
one degenerate old lady like on a slot machine. Nothing. Like they all looked at us like, "Why are you here?" You know. So
that's awesome though. It's
yeah.
crazy.
So I do hope that more casinos open in Mexico because I could totally see it being like a great place to go and gamble and it
Yeah.
was such a nice casino.
It is weird that they never had it before because everybody else in the Caribbean does. I know
Yep.
that's not really the Caribbean, but it's essentially the same vibe,
Yeah.
So I'm kind of surprised that they haven't before. We
So
shall
you
see.
know that wherever I go, I always find like the one lone casino. He said they're probably fronts, right? That's what I was thinking. There's always like one lone casino that like I'll find, and usually I'll like grab a man to like walk in with me because I'm like I don't know what we're walking into here. Like one time in oh God, where do you go on cruises? Bermuda.
Yeah.
So in Bermuda, you walk in and there's like broken glass bottles all over the floor and like
Oh.
yeah, yeah. So we have like a phrase that we call it within our group of friends. And now I know like when I'm traveling by myself, I'll like grab one of my guy friends, like, hey, will you come to this casino with me? I just want to check it out just in case. But yeah, so it was really nice. And hopefully that they open like more casinos and then we can actually go there and it would be like Vegas, but on the beach.
There you go.
And yeah. All right. So thank you everyone for watching. Um,
Thank you. It was fun. Good to
please
catch up.
super important, super important. Do you know that, by the way, I met the hour mark for subscribers or for like whatever, but I don't
Yeah.
have enough subscribers because
Okay.
70% of the people who watch do not subscribe. So,
It's great. It's crazy. It's true. Like a lot of people, and they'll watch a lot of the videos and just never think to subscribe, which
like, why? Just do it. Just do it so I can make some money. No, I'm kidding.
but true. But yes.
But like not really sort of, I don't know, a little bit, I want to hire someone. I want to hire somebody to do all this for me. So, all right. So anyway, thank you guys so much. Thank you for coming. And yeah, you can follow Mark at Miles to Memories, where he is the best editor ever. Bethany at Bougie Miles. And that's it.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Bye.
Till the next time, 4 months from now.